Hello and welcome. I hope you're safe and well. Today's exciting episode, I finally finished the Cactus Flower jacket. Oh my goodness, I made this almost exactly a year ago. It has taken forever.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
Last Vlogmas, so last December, I made this gold jacket. It's a Marc Jacobs tweed that I bought at Mood Fabrics a million years ago. I made it as my New Year's Eve jacket, and then I couldn't quite decide how to bead it. I was going to do red beads, and then I was going to do gold on gold, and it remained undone. And then I made a cactus jacket, and I was like, oh, I could do cactus flowers as another one. So I started it, and because they had these weird flowers, I loved it, but it's just so difficult to do because the jacket is already made, so you have to sort of work around it. At the moment, I'm working on jackets where they're half made and they're just completely flat. Then I do the beading and then I hand sew the jacket all up together. But with these Chanel style or French jackets, they're extremely structured. And you either have to half make the torso and leave the sleeves open and off and bead then, or you have to make the entire jacket. Like, this is the better way. You make the entire jacket and then you bead it. That way the jacket has more structural integrity, and adding embellishment just strengthens the jacket, so it will last for decades. And here I've done most of the torso. You can see at the top around the neckline that it's not done, and also I tried to do one of the cuffs, but the spacing was wrong because it's such a tight cylinder, whereas the torso is basically a curved flat surface, whereas the sleeves are tight round ones. You have to put them at quite a different distance apart, each of the little flowers. So I tried to do them the same way, but it just didn't work. So I had to do them like they're really tightly spaced. See, there's such a big gap between them, and it's the same way that I've done the torso, but because it's such a tight cylinder, it looks like there's miles of gap between each flower in it. So yeah, I had to carefully unpick it and do it again. And the problem with these flowers is there's like a whole stack of sequins. Like you can see there's two big flower sequins. One's flat, one's I'll show you in a minute, but this is whole stack of beads and sequins in each one. So they sit up. There's a huge amount of height in each one. So as you're bringing your thread out, it sort of gets stuck in all the flowers around where you're working. It is just so frustrating. And yeah, when I got the jacket out again just today, I was like, there's only 12, 15 flowers left to go. Why on earth didn't I just finish it months ago? And then I started beading it and I was like, oh my gosh, I remember. And it's just, especially when it's almost entirely done, and the bit that I had to do last, the bit that I'd left, it's like under the arms, and oh my gosh, so you have to hold the arm up, you have to try and stack all these beads and sequins in the correct order, and gosh, honestly, it was so difficult. It made me appreciate even more the jackets that I'm working on at the moment. Okay, so these were my samples. So if you look at and this is me showing you all the ingredients. So as I said, there's big flowers, there's small flowers, and at the left there, I've got a row of, so it's big flower, folded big flower, then a seed bead, then a smaller yellow sequin, and then this weird 1970s looking plastic bead with gold inlay, and then a seed bead as the anchor bead. So yes, and then I had to unpick the trial cuff that I'd done and I'd already started the second sleeve and it was going pretty well. So I was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, it's cool. I can undo that second one and work on that. And oh, you would not believe how difficult these sleeves were to do. It was just so, and also because I didn't want two flowers next to each other that were the same color, and there's only 5 different colors. So your options are pretty tight, but yes, got there in the end. And some of them look, because it's got this weird sheen on it, from this angle you can see exactly what colour some are, but the blue and the pink kind of look the same. Oh, you can tell here, see the pink ones, they've got a bluish tinge to them, and the blue ones have got a pinkish tinge to them if you look at a certain way. Oh, so then I abandoned the cactus flower jacket because, oh my gosh, it's so stressful. And then I've got butterflies out of the same sort of weird sequin fabric or whatever they make. It's plastic, but it's got this weird metallic coating on it. And once again, the butterflies were flat and the butterflies were multicolored, but I pulled them all out and divided them into colors. And I had this, I've got this jacket it's mostly white tweed, but it's got blue and orange in there. And I just got the orange and blue butterflies out, and there's 2 on top of each other. And then this one here is the pearly jacket, and that's got 2 iridescent transparent flowers on it, and that reminded me of the yellow flowers that are in the cactus flower jacket. So I was like, oh, I suppose I should work on the cactus and the cactus flower jacket again. So I did a bit more on the cactus jacket. And I did a bit, and I got sick of that one because the butterfly jacket, the cactus jacket and the cactus flower jacket are all incredibly technical, and oh my gosh. So yes, I did a bit more on each of them, but then I put them down to do the Yaffa jacket. Oh my gosh. As you can probably guess, I've been looking at all my old footage from everything that I've kept for the past year, and I usually dump everything at the end of the year and then start again. So I've been going through it and I cannot delete. I've got bits of the Yaffa jacket from the front, the back and the side, and I cannot delete these. I mean, I knew I loved this jacket, but I really love this jacket and I'm just so proud of it because it's faux leather. It's quite difficult to work with because it's a bit rubbery. So it's easier, much easier to bead into a fabric that won't move and won't stretch. And leather, of course, marks. Every time you put a needle in, it marks. So you have to be very confident in where you want your bead to go. So, and it's just a beautiful design. So I'm really happy with the way this one turned out. And I'm not sure we need to see all this footage, but it is a remarkable jacket. I know some of you think it's very ugly or stark or not like a Chanel jacket at all, which it's not. But I mean, it depends. Some people love to say Gabrielle Chanel was a Nazi collaborator. That's the French government's line. All the French politicians were in Paris, but then as soon as it looked like it was going to be occupied, they just waltzed out. And then at the end of the war, they needed a fall guy. And Gabrielle was right there. I keep threatening to make an episode about it. But long story short, yeah, as soon as Paris became occupied, she shut down her shop. Whereas Christian Dior didn't have his own business before the war, worked all through the war on making dresses for the wives of Nazis and the mistresses of them. And then he got so rich at the end of the war, he was able to open his own label. Anyway, back to the cactus flower jacket. At this point, I'd finished most of the torso, most of one sleeve. I'd taken the initial other cuff off, and So there was just one sleeve left to go, and I'd also done a bit more on the butterfly jacket, but I stopped the butterfly one because I can't decide whether I want to take off ones that are a little bit jarring or just keep going and have the glitchy bits just be part of the design. So I'm still not sure what I'm going to do. Anyway, so I did almost all the cactus flower jacket at this point, and there's just a really, really difficult bit at the top of the shoulder on one side and the sort of whole of the undersleeve on the other side. So if you sort of look at it from certain angles, it looks like it's completely done, but it's not. And yeah, that's where I sort of stalled. I just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And yeah, so then I was like, oh, I'll make this instead of finishing the cactus flower jacket. So I did end up finishing this tweed jacket, but it's half made in this shot. And this is a girl group shots here, and it's lurking in the background. And then in the October sewing plans video, I used it as a prop in that one, and I was like, yeah, I should really finish it, and I didn't. But then I did the daisy jacket, and I made a different floral jacket out of actual flowers, and I was like, I really should get back to that cactus flower jacket. And just yesterday, I think it was, or the day before, I was recording a video about a bead haul, and some of the beads in that particular box it's the second box, so I think you've just seen it, and it had yellow, and yeah, this one here, it's yellows and loads of different colors. I went through half of them, and see this one at the right there, that big bag of yellow, apricot, lemon and orange floral beads and sequins. There were some of the ones that I use on the cactus jacket are in this mix as well. And I was like, ooh, if I actually finish the cactus flower jacket, then I can put all the leftovers from the cactus flower jacket into that mix as well. Not that there's many left over, but I sort of counted out the ones I needed and added a few more. And I was like, yeah, we'll just leave them there. So then I went through all my old footage, got out all the footage you've just seen. There is a separate video. It was a sewing vlog where I talked you through all the design choices that I went through before I just settled on this particular style for the flower, because there were quite a few different options, but I'm really glad I went with this one. It's kind of a little bit Disney princess. But yeah, so this is me just because I forgot which bits weren't done. I was like, I felt like there must be more. I was like, only under one arm and only one shoulder. That's ridiculous. It should be like, this is the point where I had completely forgotten. So then I got out the bits, and I've got them all here. So the big flowers, the folded big flowers, the smaller yellow flowers, and then these are the weird 1970s beads that I was talking about. And you also need two different, or you can use gold seed bead for both bits, but I was using yellow seed bead for the lower one that you can't see, and then the more expensive gold seed bead just as the anchor bead at the top that you can see. And here we go. And so you need two of the same color for each individual flower, so I just matched them up. So because you sort of have one hand inside the jacket and you have one hand outside, so you sort of have to prepare everything, get everything ready first, and then because you sort of have to balance everything on your needle. It is so ridiculously complicated, but I finally finished. So yes, and I made a mess because the other sleeve sort of kept flailing around as I was working it. And anyway, I will stop complaining now. There are worse things in this world than having to do beading. So yeah, it's finally finished. It's incredible. Sometimes you work on something really, like a really big project, and like it doesn't seem like it would be big, But oh my gosh, this took months and months for me to finish. Well, almost an entire year if you count actually making the jacket as well as beading it. But I am so glad. And I've only finished the outer jacket. I haven't done the lining yet. I can't actually decide. Oh, actually, I've got this yellowy gold coloured silk. Maybe I'll use that for the lining. Because I was like, I don't have a candy pink. I don't have a periwinkle blue. I do have a green one. But yeah, no, I think the golden one, silk, would be good. Yeah, I think I'll use that. I used to have a lot of orange silk, but I finally used it all up. Burnt orange, that Hermes colour, that would have been amazing. But yeah, there's something a little bit Las Vegas about this. It is so bling. I used to have a tiara that I bought in Las Vegas once, and yeah, I don't have it anymore. But if I did have a tiara, I would totally wear it when I wore this jacket. Oh, it's the signs you see in Las Vegas. The light bulbs, they're sort of all in a row. That's the flowers sort of remind me of the light bulbs on the flashing signs. I mean, also it's very bling, and Vegas is very bling. I haven't been to Las Vegas in years, and I just realized I wrote a version of Pride and Prejudice. Well, I did this research project where I had to write lots of different adaptations of Jane Austen novels. Anyway, one of them is set in Las Vegas, another one's set in LA, and it was so good. I got to use up, because I've been to Vegas quite a few times over the decades, and I got to use up all this knowledge that are like just local knowledge that I have. It was great. Anyway, that is it for this video. I really do hope everyone is safe and well. And despite the horrific world events that are occurring at the moment, what a world. It really does test your faith in humanity. Anyway, and on that note, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you've been inspired to make a very, very bling jacket for yourself. Because, I mean, it was an absolute nightmare to bead with, like, my thread just got stuck on so many flowers. It was ridiculous. I'm so glad it's done. And now I think I'm going to make a pink and blue one. I genuinely thought after I finished this that I would just swear off making these flowers ever again. But yeah, as I was putting this one on the mannequin, there's a pink jacket just to the left of this, and I was like, ooh, periwinkle blue flowers would look amazing on that. I still want to do a gold triangle on the back of this one, but I will leave it for the time being because it was really frustrating the way my thread kept getting caught and hooked around all the flowers. So I think I'll finish the cactus jacket and the butterfly jacket, and then I'll use the blue flowers, the leftover blue butterflies, all on one jacket, hopefully. We shall see. I'm so mesmerized by this jacket. I cannot believe it's finished. I mean, apart from the lining. But yeah, pretty awesome. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you've been inspired to finish one of your long unfinished projects, because the feeling of closure, it's chef's kiss. It's excellent. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and happy sewing and beading.